If any of you guys have been fishing, if you have, you'll know that it is a little complicated at times. So today I'm going to be breaking it down, informing you guys on fishing. So on 3 main points, there's going to be the topwater lure and the soft plastic. I'm going to be talking about 2 different lures, the 2 types of fish, fresh and salt, and also how to properly hold and handle a fish after it has been caught. Alright, so the first thing I want to speak about is going to be the lures. There's a topwater lure. That lure is mainly used for early morning to evening time bite periods, because when you're throwing a topwater lure, this is my prop right here, okay? My prop. This right here is topwater lure. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see it now. Basically, you throw this out and you work it along the top like this. You jerk it back and forth, twitching it, and the fish will come up and hit it. And the reason it's so good for early morning and evening time is because the fish can't really see it. It's more of a silhouette. So it's putting off a vibration, and you ain't got to really like work too hard to find it. So it works really good during that time. And then you also got the soft plastic, which I got right here. I'll show you all. This right here is a soft plastic lure. It's used for salt water or fresh. It has a jig head, and it basically mimics any type of bait fish. It works really good, and morning, evening, daytime, afternoon, it doesn't matter. So you got this, you have the top water, and then also for the midday when it gets a little tough because the water starts warming up, you can throw live bait. And you got live bait for fresh and salt. You got the fresh water, you got the shiners, bluegills, bait fish like that, and you also got shrimp, mullet, whitebait, anything like that for salt water. And that's going to attract anything, redfish, trout, snook, freshwater, you're going to get bass, and depending on where you're at, mudfish, gar, anything like that. Then the next thing I'm going to speak about, or inform you about, would be 2 types of fish. I broke it down into fresh and salt. So first, there's the bass. The bass is native to Florida, and according to Live Strong, that's what the preferred bait is during that certain times of the day. All right, and then now I'll be speaking about the 2 types of fish, one fresh, one salt, and the first one is going to be the bass. That's native to Florida. It's native to like the eastern and western parts of the United States, everything like that. They're usually found around vegetation, wood, drop downs, anything that has like any type of structure to hold bait. That's where the bass, you can usually find the bass at. The biggest bass caught in Florida is 17.75 pounds, and that was caught up in North Florida. But there are some big fish around like Lake County, and there's a lot of people that fish around Lake County because it is Lake County. So that's probably one of the easiest fish that you can catch around here. But the next fish that I'm going to speak about is going to be the redfish, and that is probably one of my favorite fish that you can catch around here and that I've caught before. I've caught a lot of redfish, and they'll basically eat pretty much anything, and you can find them anywhere basically. During the winter months, they sit around sand potholes, grass flats, stuff like that to warm up in the shallower water. But during like the summer and spring months, they move around to like the oyster bars, the passes, the beaches, stuff like that. And you can catch them on mullet, crabs, shrimp, anything like that. Basically, if you put it in front of their face, they're gonna eat it. So that's pretty good. What's up?
How many redfish have you caught?
How many redfish have I caught? Probably close to like 100 or more. There's probably more than 100 definitely. But I've been fishing for a long time, so yeah. And then next we're going to speak about, I'm going to inform you all about how to properly hold a fish. And actually all that information I just told you about was from the FWC website. There was a bass part and a redfish part on the FWC site, so that's my 3rd source. So basically, I'm going to use this to show you all how to actually properly hold the fish. So to ensure that we have like proper fish handling techniques, you kind of have to know exactly what to do, because you can either use a net or you can use your hand to grab it. And when you use your hand to grab it, you want to support the belly. So say this is the fish. Here's the face. You grab the mouth. You don't want to hold it like that or like this because you can dislocate the jaw and injure the fish and end up having it dying. So you want to hold it by the mouth, and you also want to grab it underneath the belly and support its weight, especially if it's a bigger fish, because if you don't, then you end up hurting it. But if you use a net and you just land it like that, that's an easier way. You can take the hook out while it's in the water and just take it out and just let it go. And that'd be a fine way to do that. But basically, you got those two techniques, and if you do choose to use your hands, then you would want to support the belly. That way you can sustain a good fishing habitat, stuff like that, and then you won't have injured fish swimming around everywhere. So, and to conclude, basically fishing, that's my favorite thing. I know a ton about it. You got the two baits, you got the two fish, and you got how to properly hold and release the fish. And is there any questions?
Which do you prefer better, saltwater or freshwater?
Saltwater and freshwater, definitely saltwater, because there's a lot more fish I can catch there, and they fight a lot harder.